countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey, come on now and take my hand.
So as always, I found a picture of a duck enclosure that I like on Google, and I'm kind of just stealing the idea and turning it into something real. So we're gonna make the frame out of 2x4s. So all the little sticks are 2x4s. We'll use a piece of the sheet metal that we cut out of the walls right here. We still have a ton of that left over. So we're gonna use a sheet of that for the roof for it, and then put a chicken wire around the outside of it, so they basically have a big long duck run. And then we'll build their little house attached to the end of it with a door that closes, and then we'll make the roof come up and the end of it open to be able to clean it all out and everything. But for that, we're going to use a piece of the sheet metal from the container too. I actually have one that was from one of the windows, so it already has spray foam on it, so it gives them a little bit of insulation.
Make Cody watch all of our YouTube videos, so that's what we're about to do. How do you feel about having to watch every single one of them and also live the life? Does it get redundant?
It's a lot of deja vu, I guess.
Brayden, why are you here?
I'm working on a truck.
Because he wants a truck. What's up, guys? We're going to take a quick break and talk to you about Omaze.
Huge thank you to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know who Omaze is, they give people the chance to dream big and win one-in-a-lifetime prizes, all while helping nonprofits make the world a better place.
We're so excited to be working with Omaze to offer you the chance to win a $130,000 custom tiny home from True Form Tiny and support a great cause, the National Park Foundation.
Go to omaze.com/can'tcontainus to enter for your chance to win. How cool would it be to customize the tiny home of your dreams? This is such a great opportunity, especially if you're just starting out on your own homestead.
All while supporting a great cause. The National Park Foundation works to protect wildlife and parklands, preserve history and culture, educate and engage youth, and connect people everywhere to the wonder of parks.
So for your chance to win a $130,000 custom tiny home from True Form Tiny, go to omaze.com/can'tcontainus and enter now.
And donations support the amazing work of the National Parks Foundation.
Thank you, Omaze, again for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it.
You hear that?
What?
Brayden had a good idea. He said we could have a rain catchment system since we're using the paneling for the top of the duck coop. So we'll give them little gutters and then it can fill their pool up.
Oh, that's a good idea, B. Good idea.
Feel it. You can feel the perfectly smooth metal, and then you can feel when it gets coarse or bumpy or there's something that your finger runs over. This is the most important surface. If you don't do it right, then you got to take it all apart and do this all again.
That's fine.
Yeah. Remember how much work that was. Good enough job, you'll never have to do it again. If you don't do a good enough job, you're gonna do it again. So, do a good job now.
So this is, well, now Brayden's truck, but it used to be Cody's truck.
So yeah, I got this truck for $200 because it had cracked heads and the kid didn't know what was wrong with it and he didn't want to mess with it anymore. He just knew it overheated. Got a deal on it, took some time to rebuild the engine and everything. Brayden actually helped me build the new engine whenever he was a kid. Pretty much went through the entire engine. We sent the block off to a machinist. It's got brand new Engine Quest cylinder heads. I mean, I could go on for days. It's got some nice expensive parts inside the engine. So it's a good truck. And it ran quite a while and I put a lot of miles on it for work, and it ended up blowing a head gasket probably a year ago, and it's just kind of sit since. So
it was like right when we moved here. One of our first big purchases when we moved here was a truck for him because we just didn't have anything reliable.
I didn't have the time to fix it. I didn't know what was wrong with it at the time and didn't have the time to figure out what was wrong with it because we had to build the house.
And the only other thing we have are the 2 Jeeps, and you can't bring wood and plywood and building materials because it was
tow a car trailer.
Yeah, different things like that. So we knew we needed to get a truck because this one was just smoking out everybody.
Brayden did a ton of work on the house with us, helping us do the foundation, and I mean,
he always watches our dogs anytime we go to town.
Yeah, he's been a giant help. So.
And 4 dogs when we go out of town is a lot to handle. I mean, it's a lot for us to handle on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So.
And he just had his 16th birthday. I know, surprising with how ginormous he is. But yeah, he just turned 16, so we figured we'd
Hold on, can we do a side by side? They're 10 years apart exactly right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't what we're doing today. We are actually working on the duck coop, and as soon as B's done here, we're gonna go up to Lowe's and get materials and stuff and take him home. But that's what the boys are working on this morning, so I figured I would come down and kind of show y'all some of the other things that we do in our time whenever we're not working on the house.
So yeah, we're gonna let Braden get my old truck, but he's gotta do all the work to fix it by himself.
Also, she's always been red, but Cody and I Kevlar'd her, which was a pain in the butt. If you don't know what Kevlar is, it's like that rhino lining. That's not what we use. Is that what we used for this one? I can't remember. I think it is what we used for this one.
We painted it with this Raptor liner. This one's black, but they actually make a tintable, non-sponsored, but they actually make a tintable one. So that's what we used on the red truck. So we were able to take some normal automotive paint and mix it in with the Raptor liner and get this one-off custom color. And that color is actually a mix of 2 different reds that I got from Summit Racing, and both are discontinued now. So you cannot get that color anymore.
Number one, I just want to point out really quick that Cody and I are matching. Black shorts all the way down to the Crocs. Sorry.
To my knowledge, this wasn't intentional. We're building a duck coop.
Finally. Y'all wouldn't know this, but yesterday we ended up just fixing the truck and then taking Braden home. I felt like dog crap. I still feel like dog crap. You don't really know where we're at right now, but we are on the, if you're looking at the house, we're on the right side of the house over by where the water filters are and the gas lines and all of that.
We didn't want to put the ducks anywhere up here just because it's straight downhill slope and duck poop. And then all back here will be for our dogs. So right on this side where Cody's standing is where the duck coop is going to go. I'm sure it's gonna get moved a ton, especially as we get more animals and figure out where we permanently want things. But I feel like this is gonna be the best area. Plus we can keep an eye on them better on this side. And
yeah, I chose this area because it's really protected from the elements right here. There's big trees surrounding them, so they'll be blocked from wind and storms and stuff like that. And they get a good amount of shade right here throughout the summer. So they would really only get probably an hour to 2 hours of direct sunlight. So, you know, they won't cook in their coop.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty level. I'm surprised.
now we are going to figure out the best place to position it and get the ground leveled out with the actual level now, not the tractor. Speaking of the girls, look who decided to make a presence. We only have 2 girls, so it's not a big design. Basically, the pool's gonna be in the ground. They're gonna have all of this area, and then they're gonna have a house that they sleep in at night on the side. What do you think? Is it big enough?
I think they're happy.
I know it may look a little small, but I did make sure to look up online and see how many square feet of space you need per duck. So I made sure that we're building the run big enough and that we're building their house big enough for them to be able to stay warm and be able to move around.
Let's get her put together.
If you notice any problems with your wood splitting at the end, you can always drill pilot holes just through the wood that you're trying to screw into something. That way you won't split the wood. Can I have that screw, please?
He dug it out and then filled in dirt along the edge. And then you're probably like, how are you gonna keep that water clean? We're actually gonna bring over the filter that we made from the pond, and we're gonna build a different pond filter on a bigger scale for the actual pond. But for this, we're gonna bring over that pond filter. Yeah, it's gonna clean the water for it.
All right, so we got our hole dug and our pool put in the ground, and then we got our brick foundation all set and leveled. That way the house is nice and level and it gets the wood up off the ground. Now we're gonna build the rest of the framing for it and then get it all put together. I was gonna make it about 6 feet tall, that way we could stand up inside of it, but I'm thinking that it's so small that what's really the point? And if we can knock it down to 4 feet, then we can use half the amount of wood we were gonna use. So I think that's probably what we're gonna do.
So he did the same thing on the frame and drilled his holes first, and now he's going to go ahead and put in his screws.
Hard.
See you in a few.
Here's the frame. It's pretty much 8 feet long by about 4 feet wide. It's actually a tiny bit shorter than 4 feet, that way, because the roof panels that we cut are a tiny bit shorter than 4 feet. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, the roof had a tiny bit of overhang and wasn't smaller than the top of the frame. Look how far he's made it.
I know. He was over there just a second ago.
Yeah, we pretty much just built the top frame the same as we built the bottom frame, and then used two 2x4s to kind of square it off and give it a little bit more strength. So it's actually really sturdy. I'm pretty happy with it.
And then we're using part of the walls that we cut out of the container for the roof. Do y'all see that? It's kind of hard to see. It kind of just looks like a blue sky, but that's blue sky. That is rain. So,
But we got the frame done and we got the roof done, so we're pretty much out of stuff to do until we run up to Rural King. So we're gonna go up there and get some paint so we can get the outside of it painted and get it protected from the weather. And then we're gonna pick up some hardware cloth. That way it's a little bit smaller holes than chicken wire is, so it'll protect them a little bit better.
we are back. Let's get to painting. What do you think of the red?
I like it.
Me
Stands
too.
out, it looks really good.
Can you guess the theme yet? Probably not.
I mean, I know what people are gonna guess because it looks like a specific kind of red, but you're wrong.
Okay, so the next thing I want to do is go and splotch it all. I was going to use this one because it was textured, but I'm not happy with how the sample came out. It actually looks really crappy. So I'm just going to take a half sponge that I just cut off and then some just regular old black paint and smudge it out. And then I take this back part and then go over it to kind of mute it out. So now I gotta do the entire coop.
So we got our frame built for the house, the base floor, and then we put a subfloor on top of it, just a piece of plywood. And then I'm working on the wall framing right now. We got one of the walls put up, so we just got to put 3 more and then a roof. Finished getting these windows cut out, so we'll be able to put hinges on them and make them fold down, and then we'll be able to fold them up and put a latch up at the top to hold them in place. And then we'll put some hardware cloth on the back side, that way it's still enclosed for them whenever it is open like a window. And then we're going to leave these corners right here open and still have some hardware cloth right there, that way they still have ventilation even when we have the windows closed.
We just want to make sure that it stays constantly ventilated because ducks are very,
They have hot breath.
yeah, they're very moist. We need to go to Lowe's and pick up more plywood.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a piece of foam board insulation to put underneath the sheet metal I'm gonna use for the roof. That way when the sun's shining on it, it's not heating the coop.
Oh, and we also need to get hardware. So now that we figured out what kind of doors we want and what kind of windows we want, we can go and purchase the hardware that we need.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get some latches and some hinges.
So we're about to make a trip up to Lowe's, so I guess let's go. But first, let's just see if you can guess the theme. It's not gonna be in this video. You're not gonna see the finished product in this video, unfortunately. This is all you get. Here, I'll get in a little closer. Can you guess the theme? It's Sunday.
Yeah.
For context, we live about 35 minutes away, so that's kind of a disappointment. Okay, try again in the morning, I guess.
My tree's coming back to life. I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she was dry.
Feels good.
Little baby white oak.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hate leaving y'all hanging like this all the time, but I'm trying to produce more videos, which means we're getting in a lot more detail, which inevitably makes our videos way longer, and I don't want to put out like a 35-minute video, so I'd rather just split it up into multiple different parts. So in the next video, we're going to be finishing up the paint, adding all of the details for the theme. I really want this duck house to be fun and colorful and show an overall theme, and that's kind of how I want all of my animal houses to be in the future. So we didn't do what we were originally going to do.
But I don't even remember.
If we got chickens, we were going to do the entire Harry Potter kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we're not doing that this time. So there's one clue, it's not Harry Potter.
Yeah, I figured a lot of people were gonna guess Harry Potter because it's kind of like Gryffindor red,
but it's not Harry Potter. So we changed up the theme. I really want to be consistent with it, so we're gonna put a lot more detail into it. If y'all haven't noticed, we have been posting more frequently. I want to try to stay with that schedule, so let me know how y'all like that. Because ideally we would love to daily vlog, but we don't just do one project in one day. Typically one project will take us anywhere between 2 to 3 days, and that's not just
it just kind of depends on the project too.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we run out of materials, sometimes we got to go to the store, and then
Sometimes-
Home Depot's closed.
or Amazon. So that's, I want to post more consistently, but that means we're jumping around a little bit and not always finishing things. So if you're not a fan of that, I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to figure it all out, but
I guess at the end of the day, what it would come down to is, do you want daily vlogging or do you want videos of completed projects?
yeah, we're either posting twice a week or we're posting like 4 times a week. So let me know what you want, and that's what we're going to do. But until then, let's answer some questions.
So Big Man 1 and Fox says, are y'all gonna add a deck on the roof for stargazing and such? We tossed around the idea of adding a deck on the roof just to have a deck on the roof. I didn't really think about doing it just for stargazing, but being that me and Summer have been looking at stars a lot lately, I may build us just kind of like a little square deck up there for us to be able to lay on and not be on the roof or have to worry about, you know, the condensation on the roof and laying in puddles or something like that. So
Cody and I are really into space, and we're really into aliens, and we're really into conspiracy theories and things like that. So we just like to be able to go outside and look up at the sky and use our telescope and things like that.
Yeah, but there is a lot of engineering going into building something to hold a lot of weight on top of the roof. The corners of the container are designed to hold weight, but the roof itself are not. So we would have to do some engineering and some bracing and stuff like that. So definitely want to, don't know if we're going to do it or when.
And then Leslie Snowden says, do they have names yet? And I'm assuming they're talking about the ducks. They don't have names, really. We refer to them as the babies, the girls.
Sometimes Satan and Sweetheart, because one of them is kind of
like Satan.
a brat.
Yeah. And then my mom doesn't like the name Satan, so we have Lucy, and short for Lucifer. Sometimes we'll call her that. So no, they don't have names yet. I don't know if we'll ever fully name them. We might, but the girls.
Yeah.
Basically, the girls. So, or the ducks, or the babies. We also refer to our dogs as that. So it can get confusing around here. We got a lot of animals.
I don't know. Maybe the dinosaurs will be the new names.
Maybe. So, all right. See y'all later. Bye.
That we only get one life, I wanna